Hello, everybody. Dr. Heldman here, Tech Talk Education. Sorry it's been a few days, a little bit later getting back to you creating a new video. My old machine died the big death, and I had to go get a new machine and then prep it and prepare it, restore the data. It's taken a little while. So this is going to be kind of a little bit of I don't have any slide decks or anything like that prepared. I just want to walk you through a couple of different websites because it made me think about the idea of getting prepped for a recovery like this, and I wanted to show you what I went through. And specifically, I'm talking about storage. So in this case, I had a couple of mirrored, they were RAID 1 drives. They were 6 terabyte drives in my old machine, and I was able to pull those out, and I decided to put them in a device that would allow me to host them so that I could use them and others could use them as well. So let's go take a look at this because this was a pretty interesting little journey for me. First of all, I wanted to introduce you to a company called TerraMaster. This isn't the only company out there. I'm going to show you the other one that I was thinking about as well. These guys make what are called DAS and NAS. So what's the difference between the two? So DAS, this is the one that I purchased, the D4320. This is a direct disk access storage or direct access storage. And the idea here is you have a little box that you purchase. And then when you get the box, you put your hard drives in. It takes 3.5-inch mechanical hard drives. It has plates to mount a 2.5-inch drive if you have one of those. And then what happens is you plug it into your computer. It uses USB-C to plug into your computer, and you can access the drive. So this is called DAS, disk access storage or direct access storage, whatever your desire is. And there's different versions. I bought the 4-bay because I do happen to have 4 drives that I'm going to put to work around the household. You can buy a 2-bay. You can see this guy's a little bit more expensive, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. So that's a DAS, and I'm really impressed with the way the thing went together. It's pretty easy peasy. I didn't have a hard time getting the drives put in there, although I will tell you that I did have to buy some software that would look at that RAID array and pull that data off of there, and then I had to copy it to the new drives once they were prepped. So the idea was I would pull the data off of the drives using this RAID software. It could go in and look. It's basically forensic software that's able to go in and look at the disk and pull off all the files that I needed. Then I copied those over to my C drive temporarily, prepped the drives, and then copied it all back. And then I also purchased some software because Windows Home doesn't allow you to do RAID. So I purchased some software that would allow me to do software RAID. So that's all up and running. Everything's really groovy. Let me show that to you real quick here. So you can see here now that I have a disk called Drive Pool, and it has my saved files in here. There's a bunch of them in there, and if I right-click this thing and I go to Properties, it's going to show you that this F drive here has 10 terabyte. So it's actually 12 terabyte, but it's using up a little bit with the files that are on there. So that all worked really well. That's very, very good. I have some other drives on the machine, like this Data E drive was from an even older machine. And so my intent now is to share that out using that BIOS so that my wife can copy files over. Now, what would happen if you wanted to actually have a machine that wasn't connected to your computer, but was connected to the house, like it could do Wi-Fi or Ethernet, something like that? That is called a NAS. And so you can see this phrase here. This is a Ugreen NAS sync. This stands for Network Attached Storage. What that means is it's the same sort of an idea. You get a container, just like this TerraMaster here. It's quite a bit more expensive. Why? Because it's got some other stuff in it. In this case, it's a steel container, and it's got Ethernet adapters in it, or maybe Wi-Fi, I don't know. It's got 2 M.2 NVMe slots in it as well. So the idea here is then you put it on the net, and you configure it, and you have to, of course, get into it some way. There's a way that you can get into these things to administer them. And then people all over the house can access. So you can keep videos there, photos, things like that. If you're really, really serious about a NAS, like a production level, really high quality NAS, I have purchased these. I have worked with them. I like them a great deal. They're a little bit more expensive. Like this one isn't too bad, but it's only one bay, so you can only put one drive in there. But then you can get some others, like we purchased these at the school I worked at. I purchased one of these for a group of teachers. You can see the cost here. It's called a disk station, and it has a AMD Ryzen inside of it. It's got a regular CPU in it, has 8 gig of RAM in it, and supports DDR4. It doesn't come with any drives. So here's a 4 bay. This is an 8 bay. You can see they're fairly costly. And then you have to buy the drives. Now, in the case of the school, I purchased Seagate Enterprise class drives. These were very high quality data center class drives. You don't have to do that at the home side, or if you had spare, 3.5 inch physical mechanical drives sitting around, you could use those and pop it in there. Here's the one drawback, and I was reading a review on this because somebody on Amazon was like, I will never purchase a Synology NAS. Why? Because it's running Linux, and they didn't want to get in and begin messing around with Linux. Yeah, you have to remote into this thing, and then it boots up with a Linux OS. It's been customized for the NAS. I gotta be honest with you, I really liked it. I thought these guys did a terrific job. These are very fault tolerant, so you can get 2 Ethernet adapters in here in case the one fails, the other one can kick in. Very easy to use, comes with a ton of software. If you're really, really in the market for an enterprise class NAS for the home side, or even if you're running a dentist's office or something like that, I like Synology a great deal, and I would recommend them. Let's go look for some drives, shall we? Okay, so I went to Amazon and I just searched for data center class mechanical hard drives. So you're wanting drives that were built, they're going to have gold tips on them and things like that. They're a little more rugged, and they're built for running inside a data center. And honestly, if you're going to buy a NAS like this, you might as well go the little bit extra money and put in some very high quality data center class drives. And so you can see the price here. I like Western Digital a lot. Their brand for the data center is called UltraStar. This is a 10 terabyte drive. That's not a bad price on that drive. And then there are others. Toshiba makes them and so forth. And I actually like Seagate. So the drives that I purchased for the Synology NAS at the school were Seagate Iron Wolf. And these have been pretty good as well. Now let's talk about one other area, and this would be something that you might want to focus your career on, although I don't know if it's as big as it used to be. So we talked about direct access storage or disk access storage, whatever it's called. It's called a DAS. Then we talked about a NAS, which is network access storage or network, but now there's also a thing called a SAN. A SAN is a full-on rack mount, huge, big, honking set of computers. You purchase these, they're millions of dollars to do a really rugged deployment on these things. And they're enterprise class, so they're very fast. They use fiber channel to communicate one with another. They have a fiber channel backplane on them and things like that. It's called a SAN. And there was a company called EMC squared. It's taken from the old Einstein equation. E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. That's where the atomic bomb came from, whatever. But their company was called EMC squared, and they were based out of New York. And they were a very, very popular company. They developed SAN technologies that were highly regarded all over the world. Well, Dell purchased that company, and if I go to IT infrastructure, products, I think it's under products, data storage. This is where the SAN stuff landed. And so there's not a lot to see here, but down here, these are SAN devices. And if you got to ask how much they are, you're in the wrong business, because these things are super, super expensive. Oh, and look, now they're AI optimized. I don't know what that means, but that must be actually really good, huh? So that's the story. Some of you guys that are working in IT, you might get into it. Maybe you're maintaining a SAN array right now. These things can be connected together by fiber optic cable. They can also be connected together over long haul ranges, long distances. For example, if you're the New York Stock Exchange, maybe you have a SAN array in, say, Manhattan. Then there's one in Chicago and LA and all over, and they all balance the workload there so that the data can never, ever go away. That's the point with the SAN. And if I'm being honest with you, the SAN has probably been displaced a little bit because of cloud technologies. But also, if I'm being honest with you, cloud technologies can be fairly cost prohibitive. And so in the case where you're a little bit smaller shop, maybe you're a little local hospital or who knows, and you're like, wow, this cloud thing is just eating us alive, the SAN solution might be a good one to go with. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for listening. Really appreciate you hanging in there with me. I'm sorry about my computer. It was 4 years old. And now I had to go get a new computer. And so the results of this movie were filmed on my new computer. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day.